Hi, everyone. I'm Entertainment Weekly Senior TV Editor Gerrad Hall. Thank you so much for joining us for this Around the Table with stars of Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem. Please welcome Lisa Rinna, Austin Peck, James Reynolds, Eileen Davidson, Jackee Harry, and Victoria Konefal. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Great.
Very well.
Hi,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Well, I'm so happy to have all of you here. This feels like a piece of my childhood. My grandma was my babysitter, and if Days of Our Lives was on, I watched a lot because I was always at grandma's house. So this is a true pleasure and so great to have all of you here. So first, let me ask, because it's for some of you, it's been a while since you were on the proper daily show. So how quickly did all of this come together, and were all of you like in right away? Lisa, I'll go to you first.
It came together very, very quickly. I got a text message from a number that I didn't recognize, and they said to me, would you be interested in hearing about this? And I didn't know who it was, so I sent them to my agent, which sounds so very Hollywood, doesn't it? And they told him about it, and then came back to me, told me the story. I thought it would be fun, and of course, I will always go back and play Billy. It seems,
Mm-hmm. I would have thought that was a spam text for sure. Like, don't click on the link. It's a virus.
Yeah.
Your insurance. Your warranty expired.
Yeah, for sure. James, Austin, how about you guys?
I thought, it's different and provides the audience a chance for this concentrated moment of great romance and adventure.
Mm-hmm. And
Very
you get to
well
have a lot
said.
of fun. Yeah, and you get to have a lot of fun with Jackee.
I do, absolutely. Every day. Well, and certainly every day that week, but every day otherwise too. It has been a great pleasure and a lot of fun.
Oh, Gerrad, they leaving something out. It was hard. It was fast. It was quick. It was hard.
What was that? Was that ring
It was a
heavy?
lot of work.
That ring was heavy, huh?
It
You had
was
to.
a lot of work in a short amount of
work.
time. That's what's so
Lot of work.
terrible. It was a lot of work, and everybody was fabulous and stellar. And I met Lisa for the first time in person, and she's gorgeous and energetic. And I saw Eileen, and she looked fabulous and gorgeous and energetic, and I said, oh God, I gotta up my game, So that's what we did. It looks like a little mini dynasty, like at night.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
soap opera at night,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
That's what we all wanted to do, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you mentioned hard work. I mean, yes, soaps come together so quickly. This is 5 episodes. How many days did it take for you to knock this out?
Was it 10, 8? I don't know, 7? Oh,
I think it was about 10 days.
yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
I did mine in 6. I think I did
Uh-oh.
all mine in 6, and my head is still my head exploded from it. I'm still not recovered.
No, it was tough, but we liked it. But it was
Yeah,
but it was fun once you did it, And we did location stuff, outside
Mhm.
stuff, which made it much more fun. You felt like you were doing a movie. So that
Right.
he said Albert Allard, the executive producer, and Ron Colorado, they were in it 200%, 100 and 100.
Yeah.
So it really spurred you on. And the kids were gorgeous. Victoria she's gorgeous anyway. Her and Ben, I hate them.
and getting to play dress up here as a princess too. Yeah. Well, Victoria, what was it last summer that you were last on?
On Days of Our Lives?
Yeah. When were you? Because okay, sorry, taking me back. But you're still on, or you had stepped away for a bit?
I stepped away for a bit, but I've been
Okay,
back
that's what-
for a little while. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of when you stepped away. Okay, so
Mhm.
getting to then play ball with this specific group. Tell me about that.
Sure. Working with Lisa was a blessing, a treasure. She's so wonderful. Like Jackee said, Lisa is energetic, vibrant, and there's no way you can't have a good day on set with her. I remember like laughing consistently,
God
just
bless.
having a blast. And it was really fun to kind of approach the same show, Beyond Salem, from a movie perspective. It was we did have a lot more time to work on specific things. Soaps, we typically film 3 episodes in one day, and for Beyond Salem, we focused on 1 episode a day, which is slow for us. So it was really fun. I think it reignited some of that passion and fire that I had for acting, just because it did feel like a brand new experience, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
That's great. Love that. Austin, I'm going to come back to you. Tell me about, getting the call. Was it an immediate yes for you?
Yeah. I mean, it's always fun acting. I mean, I just enjoy acting. So when they called me, I was like, cool. So it happened pretty quick, and I was on a plane, and we were shooting at the studio.
Yeah. Lisa, I suppose your Dancing with the Stars experience came in a little handy here, huh?
Well, it's been about 14 years since Dancing with the Stars, so I'm not sure if it came in handy or, luckily we had Louis Van Amstel, my partner from Dancing with the Stars, come and choreograph the tango for us.
Love that.
Nice.
I don't know how we did it. We rehearsed for 2 hours, and then I had to do it on Wednesday. So Monday we rehearsed for 2 hours, learned the tango. Wednesday we filmed it. And I still don't know how we did it, but it was sure fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, it came together quite well, and that was a lot of fun to watch. Okay, so there was a moment when I started watching the first episode, and I was like, oh wow, that peacock is gorgeous. And I was like, wait a minute. Peacock, NBC, of course. I was like, is this a stroke of genius or is it corny? What are your thoughts? Which end of the spectrum?
Both, all of that, everything.
Careful, everybody.
We all. He said, Austin, let's stay right in the. Let's be fine. No, took me 3 days to get that. Yeah.
It is beautiful, and then of course there's a twist with this peacock that maybe we won't say too much about until later when we can talk about spoilers. But the hunt for this thing, of course. Then, okay, Jackee, I was so on board with this whole storyline the whole time with Michelle, and so then that reveal at the end, I was like, okay, you got me.
Yeah, that was tough stuff, wasn't it? Oh, I had to reach. I had to dig deep. It was glorious, and it looked good, because I was taken aback by the shift, like Victoria said, from daytime to nighttime in the same, context. So you had to up your game, your acting game. It's just a little more intense, a little more glamour, a little more acting chops that you want to take from different, arenas instead of just, what you have in your mold, in your suitcase that day. So you got to go outside, and we was ready for it. I said I was like, what's her name? Dominique Devereaux. I went there. Joan Collins, who I do know. I used to be her neighbor. Did y'all know that? Anyway.
No.
I got more stories. She's fabulous.
Oh.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Those walls could talk. Yeah.
That's who you're going to be, Lisa. You're going to be fabulous and rich and write more books and then tell everybody's business and make another $1 million. Yeah.
Okay.
The new one.
Yeah, we all are.
The new one in the Collins
but
plan.
it felt like that. It just felt dreamy for me.
Yeah. Eileen, you are obviously staying very busy during daytime. So when they called you up, they were like, hey, we're going to put you in this nun's habit, get those teeth back out. Were you like, bring it on? Or like, oh, I thought I'd seen the last of her.
I got a text as well. I got a text. And it was like, oh, we're doing this thing. It's like a little spin-off miniseries. It's this and that. I was like, it sounds interesting. Go ahead and send me over your thoughts, blah, blah, blah. And then I got another text, P.S. Lisa Rinna's in it. I went, oh my God, this is going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. And I loved it. I had so much fun. It was fast and furious and insane, especially the day we worked. We did like a photo shoot, and I was a nun. I didn't know that.
Anyway,
any excuse to dress up and play, I'm in.
That wasn't in the text.
I do have to tell you this though. They wanted to give me new teeth. And they go, can you come in for a teeth fitting? And I was like, I have my old teeth. I don't need new ones.
You had them. You have the.
Yeah. And the guy that made Austin Powers teeth made my teeth like all those years ago. So they're like,
oh God,
made of Hollywood legendary.
They're like, Third of frame.
They don't quite fit, but I fake it. It's okay.
Yeah, and a little like glass dome.
You know.
That's so funny. Lisa and Eileen, there were some nods paid to a particular moment on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't know if I were you, if I would have thought, I don't know, that was not a very fun moment for us in our lives, but or are you at a point now where like you have to be able to laugh about it?
Oh my God. I think we both are at the point where we found that to be hilarious. It's
Hilarious. Uh-oh. Who's that?
I have no idea. What
Hey,
do you
but-
mean? That you, James?
That is. Turn it off. There we go.
Wow. What
That
a
alarm going off. Yeah. But Lisa, was that your idea or was that already in the script?
Was not my idea, but you know, I think at this point, if you can't laugh at yourself, it's a sad day. So I thought it was hilarious, and when we ended up doing it, I think it turned out to be hilarious, and I was so excited to do it. Weren't you, Eileen?
Yes, actually, the very first script I got with it, they didn't have the two famous lines, and Lisa and I were like, "What? If you're gonna go there, you got to go there." So we both like made a comment about that needing to be adjusted. I'm not sure what I can say, so I'm kind of hedging, but yeah, we were excited to do. I thought it was a hoot.
This will be out at the end of the show's run, so you can talk about what lines those are. The bread,
the beast, and how dare you? And I mean, that bread thing was just the line was there, but I took it upon myself to throw it at her face. Why not?
I mean, add some flair. Absolutely. Yeah. And then Lisa, you came face to face with your drag lookalike. Jackee Cox is so funny. Tell me about that.
Well, again, as I'm reading these scripts, I did not know that these things were in it. And so when I read the Jackee Cox scene, I screamed. I mean, how brilliant, how funny, how great, like how much fun. It was so much fun to do that and to have those moments. I mean, to me, that's what it's about. Life should be one big meme, you know, and that was kind of a meme coming to life for me.
So true. Austin, working with Christy, gosh, I don't know.
I'm thinking about that one, Lisa. I'll be thinking about that the whole day. Go on, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Working with Christy Clark, I mean, like I said at the beginning, you know, having watched the show as long as I have, I feel like this couple, you two are just like ingrained as part of one of the greatest couples in daytime TV, I think. So working with her again here and wanting to give her that nice big diamond. Tell me about that relationship though.
Well, I mean, obviously Carrie and Austin have a long history with each other. They've been on, you know, kind of, I mean, I'm much of the Arrested Development type personality. So when I was 25, I was like kind of like 18 and I looked and sounded. So I grew up on Days of Our Lives and you know, the characters, Carrie and Austin, of course, it's, you know, started before me with Lisa, with Patrick. So it's, you know, they're ingrained characters, and it's always great to come back and just play. And that to me is what acting is. It's basically, I just get to play, and it's always an enjoyment, and Days of Our Lives is a very familiar place to me.
Yeah. Victoria, you find yourself in a really unexpected spot. That party, going in thinking it's going to be this very formal event, and it is anything but that. I mean, were you ready for that? Had they prepared you? This is what we're putting you into. You're going to be putting a guy in cuffs and.
Right. Personally, I may have been ready, but as the character, we don't really dive into R-rated things in daytime. You know, even our love scenes are very sweet and fluffy and perfect. So it was so much fun to have to dive into that. I remember.
Are you wanting it to be something else?
Yes, a sloppy love scene.
Are you like? Is this like 50 Shades of Grey desire, or what is that? What's going on?
Pretty much. Yeah, I remember. I'm allowed to speak on it.
Oh,
right?
you're hoping for that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to. I've never done anything I've never done a scene that was anything remotely close to this before. So it was breaking the ice, breaking the boundaries really quick with this guy. I had to tie him up, beat him with the little feather. Sierra's never done that ever. So it was fun to see what the writers are capable of, knowing that we don't have the restrictions and limitations of daytime. Because, you know, we air at 12. So we can't really bring BDSM into the mix. So it was really fun to be a part of that and get to play around.
For sure. Like I said, unexpected. I did not see that that's where that was going to go. And then one other question I have to ask all of you: was anyone on set to watch that drag show with all the guys?
No,
I saw a little bit of it.
No one. Oh,
I got to
okay.
see a little bit. Yeah.
No, I know
saw a
most
little
of
bit.
them, honey. I know most of them. And they didn't bring all their clothes. They brought just a few. They definitely didn't bring all their makeup, right, Lisa? I was like, where the makeup? But they brought the hair. They brought all the hair. Oh, it was gorgeous. Yes. You know.
Yeah.
I think I went on a date with a few of them.
Oh, I don't want to know.
At the same time?
Well,
Yeah, what?
At the same
Why
time.
not? Modern world.
yeah. Now we're getting into the territory that Sierra found
I
herself in.
called it. Don't you remember I
Exactly.
called you, James?
I did.
I was trying to see, man, are you available? I was just
I
like,
apologize.
I needed a wingman.
Had my own plans.
Totally dropped the ball, dude.
Oh,
Totally
gosh.
dropped the ball.
No, but see, you know, this is the kind of banter that is proof and evidence of like how long all of you have worked together and been friends on set and off. So that makes me kind of want to go back in time a little bit. I would, you know, maybe we'll get a little sentimental here for a second. James, I'll start with you. Can you remember your first day on set, what that was like? If there was anything like major or monumental that happened that day?
I do remember it, and there was a lot major and monumental that day. I'd only been cast a few days before, and I remember very vividly that Bill Hayes and John Clark, I was working with both of them, and those who watched the show for a long time know who they were. They were so supportive and so kind when I came on the show, and it was a big story, as everybody knows. When you come on, it's usually you're introduced with a rather large story, and you know, the only question I had been asked, and you learn these lines quickly, and that was it, and off we went to the races, and here we are.
Hey, James, when was that? When did you first start?
1981, 40 years ago.
Wow.
Get out of here!
Yeah,
Big man, BMOC.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Eileen and I have known each other almost that long.
I
Wow.
think longer. I met you, I think, before I was working steadily.
Yeah, I think so. A couple years before then.
Marie's, yeah. Remember
Yeah.
Andy Marie? Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
I was
incredible.
doing a show over on CBS, a series over there when we met, I think.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow.
But Abe
Wow.
Carver must feel like are Abe and James kind of one and the same now? Do you
Not really.
feel like
no.
Oh, come on,
I-
James. You're so much cooler. Give me a break. You're so much cooler.
That's true.
He's
we
definitely
try to
cool.
stay separate if we possibly
So
can.
much cooler.
You know, every once in a while you get a story that you can't
I-
drop.
yeah,
So that does
for
happen.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Eileen, when you started, I'm trying to recall, did we know right away that Kristen was a Demera?
Okay. I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't remember anything. I have so many lines in my head from so many different characters
Yeah.
in my career that I'm like, I don't remember storylines. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm going to say no. And
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with that because I think she was also she was a children's advocate and she was a really good person. She was like a heroine when she first came on the show. Kristen was like a good guy. And nobody knew she was a Demera.
Yeah. So do you remember, I mean, obviously you remember James very well. Do you remember that first day on Days?
No, I do remember I was working with Wayne Northrup, who's a hoot, and Drake Augustin. And I think I was being saved from a fire or something, or I was being saved by them. And I know they were carrying me. And I remember Wayne telling me carrying me was like liquid mercury, I guess, because I was just like went completely, he had a hard time holding on to me. I kept slipping through his arms. I was like, I don't know. But I remember being carried around by Wayne Northrop. That's about it. What a weird memory, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Lisa, what do you remember about your first day?
Oh gosh, I remember it. I don't remember anything, and I remember this, so it's a miracle. It was 1992, and I had to sing a song. I sang "Come Rain or Come Shine," and so not only am I acting really for the first time on a soap opera, I have to sing live, and I remember it to be terrifying, but it was also fabulous at the same time because I'd gotten this job that in my household, that was like the coolest thing you could get because my mom, we grew up watching Days of Our Lives. So the fact that I got a part on Days of Our Lives was like winning an Oscar in my house, which is really cool because I don't think that, everybody, soaps are fantastic, but not everybody would say, oh my God, how great you got a soap opera. My mom was like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. So that was a great start for me.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then at the same time, really, Austin, you were on because obviously brother and sister came on around the same time, I believe.
Well, yeah, I think Lisa, you left like 6 months after I started.
I think so because we'd overlapped with Patrick, right? Like
the
Patrick.
I think that one memory, like really the only memory I have of Lisa Rinna is I was like again Arrested Development. So I was like, we were down the hallway where they have all the dressing rooms, and I picked her up and threw over my shoulder and ran down the hallway. Do you remember that? I don't know. And you were screaming, and you were screaming the whole time. I just picked you up and just bolted down the hallway just on a whim. So that kind of gives you an idea as to my energy on the set. Yeah, I was basically, when I first started on the show, I came in because, again, Patrick, he was such a popular actor. And made the character popular. So I came into a front running storyline, and I mean, outside of doing commercials and acting class, I was like now all of a sudden working like 4 or 5 days a week, and all this dialogue, and that's, it's kind of like an alternate universe of people talk in a different kind of way, and I was freaked out, to say the least. I mean. So they introduced me, and it's like Carrie is like pretending to be some hooker in Hollywood as we're going after Sammy, because Sammy drugged Austin, but that wasn't me, that was him. Right. And so they introduced me coming out of the bathroom, and I'm in a towel, and they're like,
of course you are.
Playing Austin Reed is now Austin Peck, and I remember it was Phil Sogard, and I come out, and there's a wall to my left. And then there's the bed immediately to my right in the hotel room. And I'm supposed to come out, and he's like, Carrie's having a bad dream. So I come out of the bathroom, and I'm in the towel, and I'm like, and he goes, okay, look left and look right. But I'm like, there's a wall right there. Why am I looking left? He goes, you're looking for her, but she's right there. You know what I mean? It's like, you're thinking, stop thinking. You know what I mean? Just do. And I'm like, okay, come on.
That's pretty funny.
Carrie. And then I literally said, for like 2 months, I said, Carrie, what's wrong? I love you, okay? Carrie, what's wrong? I love you. Are you all right? Carrie, what's wrong? So, yeah,
1,000 ways to say it.
Funny.
And then the rest is history. Yeah, there you go. Victoria, I guess maybe you were in a bit of a kind of similar situation as Austin, where someone else had been playing the character, but of course, with your character, she was growing up. So stepping into, that role, being the child of, speaking of Carrie and Austin, also, of course, Bo and Hope, one of the greatest daytime TV couples ever as well. No offense to Billy and Bo. But yeah, Victoria, stepping into that, being
man,
part
this
of this.
interview's over. I'm sorry. You just totally ruined it, dude. You just ruined it.
Oops, I shouldn't have said those two. Yeah. No, but stepping into that kind of legacy and being part of that, what's that meant to you?
Sure. Like Lisa, actually, my mother grew up watching soap operas. I grew up with her watching the soap operas. Bo and Hope were her favorite characters. She actually immigrated from Poland to America in the 80s, and she watched that show every day to help her learn the English language. So getting a role on Days was massive in my household as well.
Okay.
It was definitely cause for celebration. And I was aware of the legacy that I was stepping into, tried not to think about it because how can you? You know, you're only self-sabotaging at that point, you know, freaking yourself out for absolutely no reason. I was nervous enough. I was so young. It was my first big gig, you know. But it was really great. I've loved being a part of the legacy and the history of Days because it's so important in cinema and television. So
Yeah. Jackee, I like Days. I grew up watching 227, and when they announced you were joining the show, I was like, this is kind of a pretty darn smart casting here because one, your energy is so infectious, and you bring a certain amount of levity, but you, especially watching this series, you have a stare, those daggers. I was like, I sat back a little bit. So just tell me about like this kind of playground that you're on and what you love about this.
Well, I started in soaps. My very first job on television was on Another World, which is now defunct.
Yeah.
I worked with the great Linda Daniels. She broke me in. She, she and Steve Schechter. They were so lovely and wonderful and warm to me. You hear me? There were a couple of people who weren't, you know, but that part of soaps is important too. To learn how to act in a soap is different from learning to act in a movie and to act in television, period. And I used to laugh at it. I was like, they like iced tea and salad. I remember going, I don't want no iced tea and salad. You know, now if I sit down and I have dinner, right, ladies, if I don't have some iced tea and salad, I don't want to be in the restaurant. That's
so
you
funny.
know, it's the same, you know, you do a soap and you think that you're being a little phony and stilted in your delivery, but you learn how to write. It's like Seabiscuit. It comes out the gate like that, then you smooth out. But coming on like, you know, I am now, and I don't want to be vain, but you know, you got to bring a little bit of, you know, all of that other stuff, you know, with you to help it work. So when I got the call to do the character, I was like, they wrote it for me. I was like, okay, hey, why not? So it's good. And I love James Reynolds. He knows it. I love him. I hope his wife ain't listening. I love him. Oh, I adore him.
I think she might be downstairs with her head to the wall.
Ain't got no knives. Put the knives away. Lisa, put the knives away. But he's wonderful and gracious. And the kids are great. I call them the kids, Lamone and Sal. They are just stunning. Everybody on the soaps are pretty though. You notice that? But anyway, I digress. But it was, it's been difficult in learning so much in a short amount of time. You do a lot of work in a short amount. That's the hardest thing about doing a soap. So also my head, I was like the exorcist, my head was turning. I got a little mad about it. I was like, it's too much work. I get up in the morning, one foot on the ground, one eye open, one eyelash back here. I was like, I'm tired, you know. But I found out that everybody is the same way.
It's definitely a different. It's definitely a different style.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember when I used to get really frustrated because I was like, I don't talk like this. No one talks like this. Why am I just like freaking out? Because I'm like this young actor, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to Hollywood. I'm gonna win an Oscar. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like everybody wants to be like this, like amazing. I'm gonna be like method actor. You know what I mean? And then reality is, and you know, it's like everything has got its like categories. Soaps has got its specific world, and what freed me up is I watched this science thing about string theory, and then all of a sudden I realized it was like, this is an alternative universe, and in this world, this makes perfect sense. And it was all of a sudden, it was just like, you know, it's like, this is great. And I was
kind of comfortable. It's a bubble. Yeah, it's a bubble. It's like a home. It's like a little mini home, especially now during these times, these crazy times. You know, you feel protected. You don't feel out of it. So even when we did Beyond Salem, as crazy as it was, we felt safe because we were all together. You know, it was like a reaction. But let me tell you something. People ask me every day about storylines, and I have to learn how to keep my mouth shut. I know, Austin, you telling everything, ain't you? But I have to learn how, because I'm, you know,
I do. I let it fly.
No, you're gonna be what? No, you know, I feel like no, don't say it. Don't say it. You'll be fired. You know, I don't want to. So that's hard.
This is exactly what happens. Let me tell you.
This person dies, and these three people come back. It's one of the, yeah. Well, lastly here, we're about to wrap up, but I got to ask, in terms of Beyond Salem, How did producers leave all of this with you? Do you think we might be seeing another special series like this, or more to come in terms of Beyond Salem being its own thing?
I don't
We
think
hope
that
so. I
any
mean,
of us.
that would be wonderful, and I don't think anybody knows. So
I
it's
think-
I think it depends on how much money
floating
they
out there.
make.
But that
Yeah,
would be
I don't think any of
fantastic.
us have
No,
the
it was a test
jurisdiction
run.
to speak on it, but I do think that everyone was very happy. I know that representatives at NBC and Ken Corday himself came down to thank us all, and everyone was really thrilled. I know I myself found it so much fun. I think all the actors would love to come back, and I don't know. Let's fingers crossed. Let's hope.
Mhm.
Just so I don't have to work with Austin.
I'm
Kidding, I'm kidding.
Eileen, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, Eileen, you have the funnest time of your life.
I believe you. I just don't
He'll
pick
pick you up and he'll pick you up
He'll
and
just
run you
pick you
down
I
up.
want you to
the
pick
hall.
me up and
Hey,
put
that's
me over your
right.
Keep you on
shoulder.
your toes,
Run me
girl.
down the hall, baby. Run me down the hall.
I'll run you down the hall, Jackee. I'll pick you up and I will
I mean, you might get
run
down
you
half.
down. I will pick James up and run him down.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The only way I can go down the hall right now. So
That's great. And Lisa, I mean, I guess if you're busy with housewives, they can always call Jackee Cox.
Ah!
You could always call Jackee Cox. Yes,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
could.
Yeah. Well, look, this was a lot of fun. The series, the limited series, is a lot of fun. Thank you so much for diving into some of those spoilers and telling people about everything. For all of you, if you have not watched yet, Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem is available to stream on Peacock. My thanks to Lisa Rinna, Austin Peck, James Reynolds, Eileen Davidson, Jackee Harry, and Victoria Konefal. Thank you, everyone. It's been
Bye.
great.
Thank you,
Thank you. Take care.
everybody.